As Merrin entered the Watcher's lair, she saw a wriggling cocoon stuck to the wall. Her heart raced. Could that be her father? Strange mechanical turtles toiled inside the giant machine. Were they operating it? Or were they trapped inside, just like her? Scaring a turtle into its shell appeared to cause the beams of that color to shut off. Sorry for having to scare the turtles, but it was the only way to help them escape from the machine. As Merrin entered the innermost room of the architect, a large red turtle activated an alarm. Suddenly, the insides of the machine began to move and change shape around her. turtles hiding in their shells could now be moved safely around. Merrin was careful not to hurt them. After all, this was for their benefit, as well as her own. Some of the beams were controlled by sensors, but would any large object trigger the sensor? The red turtle continued to evade Merrin. She wondered if she could trick him into taking a more dangerous path. A burst of energy from the machine sent the turtle back into his shell. But a piece had broken away. Merrin recognized it as a Fomori sonar device. The submarine shot out a burst of pure sonic energy, shaking the architect and scattering broken glass in all directions. This new power might be Merrin's one opportunity to escape. As the last piece of the great Fomori machine collapsed, Merrin heard the sounds of distant turbines. The current that had pulled her in was now reversed, pushing her back out into the sea. As its mechanical faceplate shattered, the Rimorosa was at last free from the Fomori's control. The creature swooped out of its lair, smashing through the columns of rock beneath the Forbidden City. The heavy city began to collapse under its own weight and fall down into the trench below. Merrin raced to free her father from the diving bell, but the collapsing city was falling down all around her. Merrin grasped her father's hand as an avalanche of debris plummeted toward them. She closed her eyes as the darkness fell over her. When she opened her eyes, there was a roof of green, gleaming scales above her. A giant queen leviathan had taken the brunt of the blow from the falling debris. A moment later, a much smaller serpent swam down toward her. It was Swish. "Is this your mother, Swish?" Merrin asked in astonishment. But Swish just wagged his tail and beckoned for her to grab on. She and her father grabbed hold of the two leviathans, and together they swam up, out of the still collapsing debris of the Forbidden City. They swam out of the darkness and into the gleaming rays of sunlight that streaked through the water's surface. And at last, for the first time in what seemed like ages, Merrin and her father looked out over the waves toward their house in the distance. They said goodbye to the pair of leviathans, and Merrin promised to come play with Swish each day in the deep waters below the cliffs. And bit by bit, Merrin's life slowly went back to normal. She and her father traded a few of Merrin's golden coins for a beat-up old fishing boat. Working side by side, they soon had it ready to sail. Merrin no longer had to wait at the cliff's edge. Her father took her out to sea whenever she wanted to go. As they fished, they shared the stories of their own great adventures, both knowing that every word was true. And sometimes, late at night, Merrin thought of all the mysteries she had yet to answer. She thought of Kara, the sea garden, the eggs, and hoped they were all safe. Someday, she thought, someday I will see them again.